Yeah, and just the people that I hunt with, like, we just do hard shit. Like,
Yeah.
the things that we do to be successful. Like, I've seriously almost died from not having enough water because I didn't want to leave a buck. I end up arrowing a buck, and then I lost my boots, and I had to walk out 2 miles to my dirt bike. Blood everywhere because my feet were splintered open, and you know what I mean? Like,
You are listening to the Run the Rack Outdoors podcast, where we take an all-in, leave no doubt approach to all things adventure hunting. From the big woods to the high country. How about that? Let's learn together as we discuss with our expert guests on what it takes to be successful in the backcountry. I'm your host, Weston Homa. Let's get into it. All right, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Run the Rack Outdoors podcast. This week, I got on Travis Nowotny, and this was such an awesome episode because Travis is also from Idaho, and we were messaging back and forth for a little bit, and like he was tied up, I was tied up, and then found out didn't live terribly far from me, and I was like, dude, let's do this one in person. I think podcasts always go better when like you're sitting right there with the other person. So I was excited to do that. We were in Travis's man cave, which was awesome. Big mule deer bucks, couple moose, sheep, elk, just all this stuff. And it was just a sweet setup. And then, yeah, we just chopped it up about our passion for hunting. And Travis has been just getting after it for a long time. He's a consistent killer. Those are the guys I love to bring on and talk to and learn from and share with you all. So really awesome to get him on. Travis is a stud and had another good fall this year with a couple good bucks and a good bull. And yeah, it was just awesome. And Travis also is the owner, operator, founder of Goat Knives. So these are some pretty sweet knives for the backcountry. And that little ibex, it looks pretty sweet. And he also has the Cameos, which is a fixed blade knife. So go check those out. That's goatknives.com. Go give Travis a follow. He's a killer. And I think you guys are going to enjoy this episode. Other things going on here. Still here doing the thing here in Idaho. Just training really hard. I got an ultra marathon here in January that I'm just so stoked for. I actually just laid out my training plan for the month of December, and I'm going to put some big weeks here together, some 70-mile, 80-mile weeks, looks like. And then, yeah, that race is, the third week in January. So that's going to be the goal there. We're really going to try to do well in that one. And like I've said before, I'm running Boston in April. I'm going to sign up for some bigger ultras this summer. Definitely get a 100-miler in here at some point. I got to sign up for something here soon. But yeah, that's going to be the year. So just training for all that. And it was fun. Like I did my 20-mile mountain long trail run on Saturday, just feeling really good. And I got down into this bottom kind of off the ridge. And there was a bow hunter like coming up the trail, and he had that late mule deer rut tag. And I was like, oh, dude, I'm so jealous. And he was a nice guy. I was able to just talk with him back and forth. And man, I've been shooting the bow too. And I'm already like, is it September yet? Like I'm already so stoked for next year. I'm just thinking about the hunts I'm going to do and just get all into it here in Idaho. And just, yeah, I'm excited. So I don't know. That's pretty much it for my end. That's the things going on. One thing I wanted to mention. So I don't have any sponsorships. I don't have really any brand deals or anything like that. If you guys been listening, I run one affiliate code with Go Hunt. I connected with a guy there at TAC, and that's basically as straight up as it is. Like I've been recommending Go Hunt to people for years. I've had it for a long time. I love it. Like all the nuggets you can get from the Go Hunt guys, like the articles, the filtering 2.0, like made my life so much easier getting these out-of-state tags, especially a guy from back east. Still going to use it. I'm here in Idaho, but I definitely plan on hunting other states. Like I think I should draw Wyoming next year, and I'm just using Go Hunt to just really dial in all the details there. So I think it's so worth it. Plus the gear shop. So that's why I wanted to mention it too. So Christmas is coming up. That's like the only, I don't really ask for much. Like I'm 37 episodes in now. Crazy. It's just going fast. But yeah, that's basically all I got. If people want to support the podcast, you can go into Go Hunt and you can use the code RACK, R-A-C-K. I mean, I'll run the little ad I have here, but use that code and you can get a discount in the gear shop. But if you sign up for an annual membership, you will get $50 back towards the gear shop. So you can buy that on some hunting gear and get what you need for the, for something for Christmas for next year. I just want to throw that out there because there's some deals going around. People like doing their Christmas shopping here this time of year. Go to Go Hunt, use code RACK, RACK, supports the podcast. And all right, I'll just leave it there. But that's all I got right now. Appreciate the support. Seriously, everyone. And I think this is a great episode here with Travis. So I hope you enjoy it. And let's all have another great week. Let's work as hard as we can. Let's leave no doubt. And let's run the rack. All right, everybody. Thanks. See ya. Go Hunt has a single purpose: make it easier for hunters to get into the field. Hunting tags are only getting harder to obtain, and Go Hunt is a research platform helping navigate the ins and outs of drawing tags and researching hunts across the West. I've had a Go Hunt membership for years now, and I'm a big fan of the articles written on there by Brady and Trail. The content is next level stuff that has helped me a ton. From animal behavior to archery, they are sharing all the nuggets. I also love the hunt films on YouTube. They are extremely inspirational, and they'll make you want to get out in the mountains ASAP. Check out the Go Hunt Gear Shop, where they have everything you need for this coming hunting season. Use the code RACK, that's RACK, for 10% off eligible items in the shop. And you can use the code RACK for $50 in-shop credit when you join as an insider. So sign up for a membership and immediately get $50 back toward hunting gear. Check it out. You won't regret it. We're here live in the man cave with Travis Nowotny. How's it going, man?
Oh, it's going good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for letting me come over here. So it's been funny. We were messaging a little bit trying to get something scheduled because I've been following you for a good bit. If you guys can't tell, Travis is an absolute killer here in the man cave with all the mounts and stuff. But wanted to get him on the podcast. Turns out I didn't realize you lived close to kind of where I'm at here. So I was like, dude, I'd love to just come over, do it in person. So here we are.
Yeah, it works out great.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, man, like I said, been following you for a good bit, wanted to get you on. We were trying to schedule it, but what'd you just come back from? Nebraska?
Nebraska, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, how'd that go?
It was good. Yeah, I was able to go there, and I hunted public land and kind of just figured out a way to get it done and arrowed a buck, and was happy. So got what I wanted out of the trip. So.
Mm-hmm. And that was, so it's November 24th right now. Was that 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, a couple weeks ago.
Okay, so were they rutting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, it was awesome. So.
Okay. Can you get aggressive with them out there as far as like calling and rattling and things like that?
Yeah, that's eventually how I killed that buck. I kind of started out, I just had a bunch of pins on public that I could hunt, because it's actually pretty limited there. There's not a lot of public, so I honestly just was like, I'm going to go from this place, this place, this place. I'm going to read the sign and see how it goes. But everywhere I went, there was great deer sign, and I saw bucks. And anyway, it was like 3 days into it, and then the wind really picked up real bad, and I kind of wanted to go check some other areas out. And I figured since it was so windy, I couldn't really be in a stand, it was like 35-mile-an-hour winds. Like, you couldn't really even hunt, I was like, are they just going to be hunkered down? Like, I kind of just want to drive around and check out some other country for some possibilities, And I kind of used that as an excuse to get out. And I went and checked this area. It was near some lakes, like a refuge. And, man, there was whitetail everywhere. So after, setting up in the dark with my saddle and, reading the sign on the ground, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to get a little more aggressive and see what I can put together here on the ground, and I ended up killing a buck the first day I did that. So
from the ground?
From the ground, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So did you put a stalk on or
so
kind of ambush them? Or
how so they were kind of like in this cove on the lake.
Okay.
And I was able to just kind of work in, and it was kind of like midday. And I was thinking, as long as if I could just take my time and get set up for the evening, I'll be pretty good, And originally I'd just seen like one buck over there, and he was kind of just milling around, And anyway, I get over there and there's like 4 bucks, and then I see a doe, and obviously there was a hot doe in there with all these bucks. And I kind of slipped in it as close as I could. The wind was like just it was perfect the way that the cove of the lake was, but I worked on this deer trail and got to this point where I thought some does could be bedded between me and the lake.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of stopped there because I was like, I don't want to push it and then have these does blow out of here, because I had seen some does down there, So I'm like, I didn't want to get, be reckless. So I kind of was just hanging up, and the sun was right at my back, and I was like right on this big line of, I don't know, they kind of look like cattails, but they're like 9 feet tall, and there's like this hard line of those. And the sun was behind me, and it was, casting a shadow from those tall, cattails, whatever the heck they were. Yeah. But I'd seen that a couple of the bucks up on the ridge, and the biggest buck like pins his ears back and goes to run one of those other bucks off, and he, as soon as he pins his ears back, he like stiff legs over there, and the one buck just bounces, and I'm like, this is going to work like a dream. I pull out my grunt tube and give a couple grunts,
Yeah.
That buck looks right over at me in the sun, puts his ears back, and just freaking comes, So I'm like, this is perfect. Like,
yeah.
I was only like maybe 100 yards at that point, like I was right at the point where I didn't know what I should do, I was just going to kind of let it feel it out, like I could totally get up on the bucks if there wasn't a chance that I was going to blow something out behind me. So I was just going to feel it out and see what they did. And as soon as he did that and I grunted, he started coming. So I needed to make a little headway. So I, with that shade, casting down, I just ran that line right to the edge. And right when I got there, that buck was at like 40 yards, and he's just tearing apart this bush, and I could totally shoot him right there. But he's like, I could see him in a perfect hole, and I'm trying to range him, and I knew he was like 40 yards, and he's broadside, and I could totally smoke him, but I couldn't get a range. Like I was getting like 20 yards, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just ridiculous ranges. I'm like, I know he's like 40, but anyway, so I pull out my grunt call again and give him a couple soft grunts, and he stops what he's doing and just keeps coming, And he comes, there's like a little tree right in front of me, and he goes around that tree, and then he's coming like head on to me, and it's like I came to full draw when he came where that tree was, so it was like 30 yards I came to full draw, it was like 30, 25, 20, and he finally sidesteps a little bit because I think he knew he was getting close to me, he didn't want to, he kind of wanted stiff-legged sidestepping, but anyway, I just put it right in front of his front shoulder like this, and just, it exited perfect. I mean, just blew right through him, and he turned and tore off over this little ridge, and he went like 40 yards and then was out of sight. And I'm like, I'm just going to run up there real quick and see, because I could see everything, and it's kind of tall grass and stuff. And I just wanted to get eyes on him to see if he'd come out, and he didn't. So I, just immediately started kind of picking up the trail, because I'm like, I hammered that thing, like, and he didn't get out of here. I just want to get a little further and see what I can see. I took like 2 more steps, and he was piled up. He'd made it like 40, 50 yards tops, from the shot. But I was pumped.
You just pass right through him?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, it was perfect. I shot him at less than, I would say, about 10 yards.
Oh, so, man, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's got to be awesome, because you're going into that hunt thinking, you're going to be up in a stand or, whatever, but next thing you know, you're on the ground putting a stalk on like you're hunting a mule deer, because I know you like doing that. So, yeah, that's sweet.
Well, I had a blind in the back of my pickup. I had a regular tree stand. I had a saddle. I had, I had everything. Like, I just, I kind of want to go feel it out.
Yeah.
I wanted the, saddle hunt more than anything, just because, like, here in Idaho, like, we don't have the luxury of like great whitetail hunting, like, the densities are really low, unless you go way up north, and I don't know, that doesn't really intrigue me. I want to hunt like more of the Midwest type whitetail,
Yeah, right.
But so that was kind of, my plan from the get-go, but I'm like, let's tip the cards in my favor. Let's get on the ground. So
yeah, if the situation presents itself to do that, it's like, you got to go for it.
Well, the couple days that I'd sat, I'd passed up one buck, there was just a small 8-point, and then I actually had a really big buck come through at like 50 yards, and it was really windy, and I was grunting at him trying to get him to head my way, and he never heard me and just kept going,
Yeah.
So I was a little off on my setup, but anyway.
It's always interesting to think, like, because if people are listening to this for the first time, like, they hear Travis and throwing it on, I'm originally from Pennsylvania, so I grew up hunting whitetails and stuff, and it's always like, it seems like it's interesting when, like, thinking about what that buck can hear, and you swear sometimes it's almost like maybe if they're locked in to something they don't care to hear as much. Like, I just feel like I've had times where it's like, no way that buck heard me, but like he heard me like make a sound or something. Then other times like you're grunting at them thinking they should hear you, and like they don't.
Yeah.
So it's and then like the wind's whipping like you're saying. So I don't know. That's just an interesting game to play.
It is.
Like, yeah. And then when you made that stalk though, was the wind really strong in your favor there too?
I mean, I didn't like rush up there. It took me a couple hours to get in bow range, and I wasn't like they weren't in a great place, and I knew it, and I was like, I'm just gonna see what I can get away with and take my time. I'm gonna be able to keep my eyes on them the whole time. It was fairly open, and I was basically trying to set myself up for the evening. Is kind of what I was thinking. So
gotcha.
But
would you say it was like peak rut activity? Looked like.
I mean, they were definitely locked down with a doe, and they were like. Yeah, it was pretty dang good. So
well, that sounds like a fun hunt. I've not hunted whitetails in kind of any of those states like Nebraska or the Dakotas or anything like that. But I don't know. That sounds good. Sounds like it was a good time.
I'm gonna do it every year now.
Oh yeah,
I'm hooked on it. So
nice. And that's did you face a lot of hunting pressure, hunting public out there?
I mean, the one day when I was looking on the public, I counted 6 ladder stands.
Okay.
Yeah. I never did run into any hunters, so I'm assuming they must have been rifle hunters. Once the rifle hunt opens, they're going to go up a ladder stand. But I never. No, actually, I did see a couple trucks of guys where I ended up, but before that, I didn't.
Still not too bad.
And it's kind of funny, like talking to some of the locals. They're like, "Yeah, EHD has really just decimated the numbers around here," and it was incredible the amount of deer I saw. I can't imagine what it was like on a good year, like compared to here. Like
right.
The last few years I've kind of honed in on whitetails just because the mule deer have been kind of hurting a little bit. Just give them a break and mix it up. And yeah, way better than here. So as far as numbers,
fun.
So
well. I mean, that sounds fun for me and all these things, but like I just moved out here, dude. I want to chase some mule deer.
Oh yeah.
Like so I can't. I haven't thought about a whitetail since back home. But and that's what I want to talk about too, man. Because you got some absolute stud. I mean, stud everything. There's moose in here, big muley bucks, elk, couple moose. Like I don't even know where to start, but I think I don't know what it is. Between just chasing elk and mule deer over the last few years. And I always thought, like, coming from back east, like, when eastern hunters go out west, like, so there's something about the elk that is just, like, magical. Because, I mean, we have deer. We have whitetails. So it's like mule deer, awesome. But, like, an elk, like, well, there are some elk in Pennsylvania that we like to just go up and see. But good luck getting a tag. But since I've hunted more and more elk and mule deer, it just seems like, I don't know if I'm turning into a mule deer guy a little bit more. There's just something about them, man, where it's just watching these bucks and trying to make a stalk. So I hunted up in the high country in Colorado this year with my bow, and then I gun hunted them here in October here in Idaho. And there's just something about them. I can't explain it.
Oh, yeah. I love mule deer. Yeah, I love chasing the season. That's kind of my thing. It's like, you can start early, antelope hunt, and then go to mule deer, and then you're hunting elk, and then you're back to whitetail. Like, it's just fun to chase the seasons, If I could get away with it, I would just hunt all the time. But it's hard with a family and a job and, running a business and that kind of thing, You just get away with what you can get away with. But it's nice to be able to spread your season out. Like, I hit it pretty hard early, and then I was able to hone it back a little bit, spend a little time at home, and then finally get the bug again because I feel good about being able to get out a little bit, and put a little time between getting out and hunting, So
yeah, you did have some success early. You had before we even get there, you have goat knives. I know you run that business, but then you also have a day job.
Yeah,
we're curious.
Yeah, I'm an electrical contractor. Yep.
Okay, so day job, side job.
Yep.
Still make the family, all the things.
Yep.
Still make the time to make these things happen. I just love giving guys credit for that too. Because I think there's a lot of people that watch people on YouTube and hunt and stuff like that. And, like, that's all great. Like, I love watching that stuff too. But it just seems like there's a lot of people out there that see a trophy room like this and think, like, oh, you have to hunt for a living or something to make that happen. But that's not true. Like, we were talking about Brian Barney too before we started sitting down too. That guy regular job too, and does his stuff with Eastman's. And like, I don't know, it's what's been fun too, connecting with more people kind of outdoor space. There's a lot of guys, just regular guys, regular job, laying down some stud animals. So it's inspiring is my point. Yeah.
Heck yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's totally it's what makes me work hard to get things done is, I started out, just in the electrical field working for somebody, but then you're tied down to that job working for somebody else. So then eventually when I went out working for my own, I'm like, this is where it's at. I can manage my money right and, squeak out a little more, and it works out for the better. So
there you go. Just takes maybe a little bit more work. That's all.
Yeah. Hit it hard in the off season and, save your pennies and, be able to buy over-counter tags and fill up your pickup and go for it. So
yeah, that sounds good to me.
Yep.
Yeah. So love it. But like you said, did hit it hard early. You had a couple mule deer down just in August, right?
Yeah, I killed a mule deer and then a whitetail early.
Okay, that's right.
Yep. And then a big bull. Yep.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, and then another whitetail, and season's not over. Still got tags.
Yeah. So what are you chasing now?
I've got a late season archery elk tag that starts, just an over-the-counter one here in Idaho. Was able to pick up a second tag, and then let's see. I've got I still have a Utah extended archery deer tag. So I went down there about a week and a half ago. I had a couple days to, get after it. Almost killed a buck. It was I can't believe how it was literally a done deal. I sat on this buck all day, and his does come out of the oak brush. And in Utah, there's a lot of like trail systems, like behind these subdivisions and stuff. That people get out in the evening and run their dogs and stuff like that. And that's exactly what happened. These does had fed out, and they're 55 yards, and I am set up perfect.
Yeah.
And buck comes out, and one of the does finally gets a little further away, and he feels like he can get out a little further, and he started, going to round her up, and I'm like coming to full draw. I start to put tension on my string, and a dog literally,
no,
and I'm like, this buck just bolts, and so a hiker, and well, actually, it was crazy. I literally think there were bow hunters with a dog, 2 bow hunters and a dog.
Okay.
Yeah, literally.
Good luck.
And blows the buck. The buck just runs just out of range, and then the hunt's over. I'm just like, I'm literally, if I had 30 seconds, if I had 5 seconds more, it was game over.
Yeah.
Nice buck, too. Really nice buck. So.
Dang, man. Yeah. So that's a mule deer hunt in the rut with a bow.
Yep.
I know. So I got that leftover deer tag this year. I took my rifle out in October, tagged out. But then lately what I've been doing, and it's over now, but I had a late cow tag, and it was for, and I won't even say it on the podcast. I'll tell you after. But it was basically the winter range, low country. Yeah. Elk aren't moving down yet. It's still 60 degrees here. But I've been looking for some resident herds or whatever, but it's wrapped up. I didn't get on any. But been seeing a lot of deer, watching a lot of they're going on a few good bucks. But just watching some of these bucks with their does right now, wishing I had a bow in my hand and a tag, it would be awesome. But in some of that real open country, I was sitting there behind the spotter, just watch them. I just love watching deer too. But I'm trying to think about how would I make a play right now? Because it is that low country, rolling foothills, and I know guys do it.
Yeah.
But do you find yourself sometimes in that open country putting on a stalk like that where it's just I'm going to get picked off? Or
oh, definitely.
Yeah.
To me, obviously there's a point where too open is, you can't make it happen. But normally there's enough topography. You can have some patience, and especially with a buck, and rut and buck, they're moving around a lot. But for me, the more open, the better. Being able to read, their mannerisms and what they're doing, and if they're alert, that's everything. I hate when you can't see them and you don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
That's when you push a little too quick, or when you can keep your eyes on them, you can just go whatever pace it takes to get it done.
Sometimes the hardest part too is just telling yourself on the stalk, if you lose sight of them, just still convincing yourself he's still there.
Yeah,
he's still there.
That is hard.
Yeah, it is hard.
For me, yeah.
Because I try not to doubt myself in things, but like doubt creeps in when you don't know 100%. So it's like, I don't know. You got any like mental tricks? Just keep yourself like, no, he's there, because you have to pretend he's there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I like, to cover as much ground as I can quickly, so you feel like they don't move. But I've totally been there where, he should be right here, and you're a little off.
Yeah.
And you're kind of like, he left. And you take 2 steps and the buck jumps up and runs off, and you're like, are you kidding me? If I would have I knew he, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just kind of, your mind plays tricks with you a little bit, thinking that, he was right there, but he was just around the corner a little bit, so.
What's so hard too is like, you got to play that game, and sometimes that game might be hours on a stock.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you just got to stay in it.
Yeah. It's kind of funny. Like, when I was younger, it seemed like when you put a stock on something, it should be like a quick thing.
Yeah.
Anymore, it's like always an all day thing. Like, I don't know. For me, it's like a feel thing. Like, and the older I get, the more it's even like, it's easier to just get into it and like immerse yourself. And it's like, I don't even know how to explain it, but it's like a feel. It's not, you just get into it, like you're in tune and everything works out. Like, it's crazy how often I get in bow range now. It's like, every time. It's getting in bow range it's the last few pieces of the puzzle that are hard to make it come together,
Mm-hmm. I think when I first started doing these kind of hunts too, I almost looked at it as like, okay, going on a stalk, and it's all good to be aggressive. Like, I get that. But I felt like I was almost like overly aggressive, to where I was like, well, if I blow this stalk, it's eventually just going to happen. Like, I just need, just like another hand of blackjack or something, just keep doing it. Well, that might not be the best way to think about it.
Yeah.
After I like kept playing, this game, when I was hunting in Colorado this year, I just kind of turned it into like, okay, there's the buck. We try to usually wait till we bed it down a second time, and then just be like, okay, this is my calendar for the day. It's stalking that buck.
Yeah.
Like, just surrender, because that's the end game. It's not how many stalks can I get in this week.
100%.
Although experience, and obviously the more you get, more chance you have to be successful. But like, there is that line of like, no, this is this is the game. That's the trophy right there.
Yeah.
Like, don't screw it up. I don't know.
Well, you're most of the way through the battle, because you've already found a critter that you want to go after, right?
Exactly.
You blow that out, now you're back to square one.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah. And I just saw like an interesting quote the other day, and it was just talking about like success, and I think this applies right now to stalking mule deer. The guy was saying like, when you feel like you're 90% there, you're only 50% there, if you really want to win or be successful or something. Same thing on a stalk. It's like when you're 90% there, like getting on the deer, finding what you want, like you're in deep, you're in the mountains, you're getting on deer, all these things, you glass them up, you make a move. Like 90% of the work, but really like only 50% of the effort, is only done.
Yeah, there's 1,000 more micro decisions that got to come together before you put an arrow in that buck.
Yeah.
It's just like last week, I thought it was in the bag. Like, in my head, it was over, and a freaking dog barks, and it's over just like that.
I know. Crazy. And then you're back to scratch.
Yep.
The only thing I will say, what I learned though, and I'm always trying to be a glass half full kind of guy. Like, I'm glad I spent these weekends just out there looking for a cow elk, but because I got to learn more about these deer, because I really think I want to become more like, bow hunting is my number one. I'll still tote the rifle out, but I know if I really want to be like the bow hunter I want to be, I really want to.
Yeah, just put your gun away, since
I
you're
know.
not a resident, because you can hunt deer early.
Yeah.
And there's just multiple seasons. You can hunt from August 30th to December 31st if you're willing to travel.
Yeah.
So
I know.
Just put your rifle away, and
I know that's what I needed
accomplish
to hear.
what you want to accomplish.
Yeah, and that's what I needed to hear. And I really want to hunt some of these deer in the rut right now with my bow too, because that's the game I was playing like out there these last few weekends. So like trying to play that stock, and it seemed like, I don't know if the rut. I wouldn't say. I mean, I'm not an expert in the mule deer rut yet, but it seemed like, bucks had their groups of does. They were, acting like there might be like a little smaller buck there too. But obviously there was a more mature buck there, and he was, king, and he was just ready. and he was just going around like checking his does, and then seemed to like too, if you watch him long enough, everybody would just kind of go lay back down for a little bit, and then people would kind of get up, and he'd get up, check his does around. I didn't see like any mounting yet, so I don't know if it was like the peak rut necessarily, but my mind was like, okay, that's probably how I'd play this. This open country would be tough, but I'd have to wait for everybody to bed down and then just watch those freaking does, man. Like all those eyes, like that's got to be a whole nother challenge.
Yeah, I seem to notice like if they're hanging with a group of does, one of them's getting close. Otherwise, it's just a quick check and he's gone. So you kind of got to be, quick on the draw too, because he might hang out with them with the morning, and as soon as he decides one of those isn't gonna, be bred soon, he's gone. Just like that, out of your life.
Okay.
So
that's a good tip to know. Okay, cool. Because I could very easily make the mistake, hang out there all day, and then he kind of scurries off. And then you're sitting there like, wait, this is not how that was supposed to go. You're supposed to stay here.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, good to know. But no, dude, mule deer, yeah, I think I want to definitely hold out, hunt them in the rut next year for sure. That sounds like a good time. But I really enjoyed them in the high country too.
Yeah.
And I did want to ask you more about that. Do you do a lot of backpack hunting too?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Do you like? Do you have a favorite place to chase deer?
State or what?
State, like terrain, state. Yeah.
I mean, the high country.
The high country.
That's my thing. Like backpacking in deep and 9,000-10,000 feet. Like that's my thing. That's what I live for. So,
dude, I absolutely loved it. I don't know why. Like, I haven't been hunting the West the last few years, but I don't know why it took me so long to actually do like the high country, bow for mule deer, because that has been like when I first started listening to podcasts about Western hunting, the guys that did that, I was like, that sounds like the most badass thing. So we were finally out there, 13,000 feet, just bivvied out, chasing deer, and I felt like I haven't hunted everything, every type of way, but that's been my favorite so far.
Yeah. I mean, I like a mule deer wherever they live,
True.
know. So,
yeah.
I mean, a lot of my bucks are, like high desert bucks or like mid-country bucks, because I would say some of the high country stuff is better in other states.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely an opportunity here, but, Nevada, Utah, Colorado, they're definitely better.
It doesn't seem like just here in Idaho there's as much, like there is, but there's not as much of a big alpine like you get in Colorado.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And a lot of the thing for me is like, I want to kill a big buck, and most of the stuff here, is over the counter. So it gets hunted a lot, and those older age class bucks are harder to find,
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like you hunt a big buck where you find him, where I could throw a dart at a map and go into Nevada and find a big buck, or Utah. Like, they don't know how good they have it until they've hunted here. Like, it's incredible in some of these other states, like the quality of deer that I find,
Yeah.
So,
and what do you think that is? Do you think that stems from the food sources, or
limited opportunity and like the place in Utah, like all that, front stuff, Wasatch, whatever you want to call it, it's all, pretty overhunted, but the way that country is built, it's like they've got that awesome high country, and as soon as they strip their velvet and they get down into that oak brush, you ain't ever killing them. Like, they don't kill them during the rifle season, you know what I mean?
Right.
So those big bucks get big.
Yeah.
Where here, like a lot of the high country stuff, there's like a big migration and they go through the Orange Army,
Yeah,
so
they're down in the open country.
Yeah, and the big bucks, a lot of the big bucks don't make it. I mean, the good thing with Idaho is there's a lot of topography and a lot of country, and there's bucks that squeeze through. Like, you can kill a 200-inch buck in any unit in the state at any time. You know what I mean? But yeah, in my experience, like for big bucks, 180 plus, I always find them in these other states. Like, so
yeah, awesome. No, I love deer. I don't know. There's a lot of things that I want to do. I want to ask you about your sheep, because the sheep is like, I don't know.
Pinnacle in your mind.
In my mind, it is, because I just love the mountain, the challenge, that style hunting, and it's like, I don't know. I'm very glad now that I live in a Western state where maybe I have a realistic chance. So I will be putting in for sheep.
Yeah.
As a resident here in Idaho now, and that's an Idaho ram, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So do you want to tell that story?
Yeah, it was. I put in for 10 or 11 years, something like that, and finally was able to pick up a tag. And honestly, it was. I mean, if you look statistically, the easiest place to draw a sheep hunt in the country. A lot of it being because it's roadless and it's one of the toughest hunts, and that's that hunt right there.
Okay.
So it's basically my best opportunity for a sheep tag, and that's what I wanted. I just wanted the opportunity. So I remember having that tag. It felt pretty empowering to be, going into the wilderness, having a sheep tag in my pocket. It was awesome. But
I just get, I'm laughing because I'd be out there. I'd be like, holy shit.
oh, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing is, like, I drew a Arizona antelope tag, which was ridiculous odds.
Okay.
The same time in that hunt, like opening day, I was hunting antelope instead of sheep because I drew that, and it's like I have to like give this full effort. I can't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I went there and I killed a good buck, and then when I got back, I was able to recoup and then plan on going sheep hunting, and I put a ton of legwork into talking to outfitters and stuff like that. Just I being in Idaho and having a lot of those contacts,
Absolutely, that's a huge part. Yeah.
So I talked to an old guide that was in there, and like when he had the tag, he hunted for like 32 days, and then he ended up killing like a banana ram, horned ram. You know what I mean? Like a small young ram.
Oh, okay.
Because it's the only one
banana.
he saw
Okay,
in 32 days of hunting. And then I have a couple buddies that drew tags, and they hunted like 19, 20 days, and they didn't kill sheep.
Yeah.
And I've talked to several people that went and never saw a ram. So it's like one of those things. It's like all that's going in my head. So I decided that I was going to take my rifle in there because it was like, this is, if to find a sheep is hard, I just want to make sure that, I want to kill a ram. Like I want the experience more than anything, not necessarily, where normally like I'm diehard bow hunter,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was awesome. I went in that first day.
Were you by yourself?
I was by myself. Yeah.
Okay.
And I had like probably one of the heaviest packs I've ever had. I want to say it was like 70 pounds going in, and most of it was food. I had like 12 days worth of food.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's a lot of food.
You're at least 25 pounds right there.
It was crazy.
Easily. Yeah.
But I had a plan of how I was going to hunt it and what I was going to do. And to get into where I was, you basically had to float across the river, in a raft.
Yep.
Park my raft and then hike up the river because the only road in the unit like puts you on the edge of the unit, and then you had to hike like probably like 30 miles to get to where I wanted to hunt. So I'm like, well, that's not the road's useless to me, So I floated across the river, walked up the river 4 or 5 miles, and then I was going to go in, and like literally before it was dark, I glassed up on, and I saw some sheep butts, and I'm looking at them, I'm like, those aren't sheep. I don't know why. I just kind of gave up on them. Like, there's no way those are sheep, And I went like another 100 yards, and I like pulled my binos up because I think I was kind of looking into the sun a little bit, and they were like in a different spot, like they'd moved like 30 yards. I'm like, oh my gosh, those are sheep,
Yeah.
And my pack was so loaded down with food and stuff, just jammed in there. It was like, that was the thing. I didn't want to like dig my spotter out,
Mm-hmm.
So I threw my pack down. I dig through my pack. I pull my spotter out, and I put my spotter in there, and bachelor group of big rams, just like that.
Yeah.
So anyway.
And what time of year was this?
This was September 13th.
Okay.
So, yep.
Okay.
And then, so I watched them for a minute. Like, there's no way to make a play, before it was dark. So I kind of got my bearings, and I got on Onyx. I made some pins, and I'm like, I'm going to camp right on the backside of the ridge, right where those rams are. So I basically hiked through the night and set up my tent at like midnight, and I couldn't wait till the next morning. I couldn't hardly sleep at all.
Freaking out. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that I'd found a ram.
But you gotta keep, like, real talk. You gotta keep your composure a little bit. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I set my tent in this, like, there was no place to set it really. It was just like, well, I'm on the backside of the ridge. I ain't gonna blow them up right here. And I like set it in a hole. It was like literally a hole.
Yep.
Because I'm like, well, I can like kind of I can lay my butt in here,
Yeah.
and kind of sleep. I slept like crap. Like
Yeah.
poked a hole. I remember, brand new tent, like uh, stick poked right through it because it's like the only place I could put it,
Yeah.
right through the floor. And anyway, the next morning I woke up and I couldn't find a ram. Like I looked and looked and looked, and I couldn't find the rams anywhere. I hiked like they were in this like horseshoe canyon, and I hiked clear down looking back, and it was extremely steep. Like you couldn't see below you. It was like all cliffed out and gnarly. And I finally hiked clear to the top of the horseshoe and looked back, and they were like bedded below me. Like I saw one ram. I'm like, they've all got to be there. Like, and it was a small ram. I'm like, they've all got to be with those rams. Like, anyway, I was just kind of sitting up there contemplating what to do, and I heard some shale, something walking on shale, and I looked right down the chute, and all the rams were crossing right down below me. And it was so steep, like they walked through like, I don't know, just a bunch of brush right there, and then they were gone, and they like didn't pop out over here. So I had to basically hike all the way back to where I was, and finally when I got there, I saw the rams, and they're like going across the chute and about to go out of my life, kind of thing. So it was like, took a minute to get set up, and I shot off this cliff. I think it was like 250 yards, but just hammered this ram, and it was just, that was it, just like that. But
Yeah. So, dude, when you walk up on that ram, how'd that feel?
oh, it was awesome. It was definitely surreal. Like,
Yeah.
especially like, that's what I wanted, was like a wall hanger. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
because that's a more than, I mean, I don't know much about sheep, but that's more than a full curl.
yeah,
Looks to me.
yeah.
Like,
I wanted a
looks
good
like
representation
yeah,
of
yeah.
a ram. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
for
Like,
sure.
yeah, and he fit the bill perfectly.
Absolutely, man.
So, yeah, I remember, pulling all my mountain house open and dumping it all out on the ground right there, throwing all, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just all that food. I just trashed it all, and yeah, that was it. I made one trip out, took the sheep into town, and called one of my buddies. He put the head and the hide, and I can't remember what I brought out for quarters, but I basically did it in 2 trips,
Mm-hmm.
So.
Mm-hmm. Then you had to take it to fishing game.
I had 10 days to do it, so I waited till I got back home.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gotcha.
So,
Dude, yeah, that's awesome. Is sheep something that like you've thought about for a long time? Was that
before then, it was like, I don't really care anymore. Like, I mean, obviously I want to hunt sheep again, but it was like one of those things, it was like a rich man thing. Like, you could never hunt it. Like, I'm never going to be able to hunt it unless I draw a tag.
right?
So I wanted it so bad because it was unattainable for me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah. So now that I've done it, like, it wouldn't be the end of the world if I didn't do it again. So
Gotcha.
really wouldn't. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
I would like to, do like a doll sheep hunt or stone sheep or something like that. But
Yeah.
I think it's probably out of my cards, for the working man. But
Yeah.
you never know.
You never know.
So.
Know. No, that's awesome. Wanted to talk too about just kind of like your journey as a bow hunter. Did you grow up bow hunting?
I did, and yeah, it was kind of, I mean, from the time, in diapers walking around, like,
Yeah.
I had a burning desire to hunt, like, kill things, like it was quail in the yard or squirrels or robins on a fence post. It didn't matter. Like, I just had a desire to try to kill animals. It was kind of a weird thing, but as I got a little older, I had a BB gun and a 22 and stuff like that, and then we moved to Salmon, Idaho, where basically the outdoors was right out my back step, but I was, at that I think when we first moved there, I was only like 9 or something like that.
Mhm.
But I couldn't. My dad wouldn't let me take my 22 out by myself, or my BB gun without him, obviously, because he doesn't want me to shoot my eye out or something.
Right. Exactly.
But he let me have a bow.
Okay.
So that's kind of where the love of the bow came. Is
Yeah.
once I started, hey, can I get this? And he's like, yeah, you can get one of those. And I, ordered a bow, and yeah, that became my love. And then I just hunted everything with that. And then I really loved the flight of the arrow, like everything with a bow. And then I started, back then I think we had, I think it was called like Prime Time Outdoors or something like that. I mean, long time ago. But I would watch like whitetail hunting videos and just any kind of hunting videos I could. Like I just would soak it up. Like I just absolutely love that kind of thing. And yeah, I just pretty much it. Kind of self-taught. Like just any magazine that had pertained with bow hunting or old VHS. Like I just ate it up. And then being able to hunt out my back door. I remember when I was 12, I killed my first deer. It was a whitetail doe. I spot and stalked a whitetail doe and killed it with my bow. That was my first ever bow kill.
Awesome. Yeah.
And then, as a young kid, like shooting bucks and stuff like that really wasn't a thing. It was like, it didn't matter to me if it was legal to shoot a doe.
Right.
I would shoot a doe. So a few years of thumping a bunch of does with my bow and rifle, as a young kid, then it was, I need to kill a 2-point. And then it's like, now I need to get a 3-point, Now I want to kill a 4-point, just the progression of a bow hunter,
Yeah, and that's really, I think, the way to do it. And I think it's really like overlooked. I grew up hunting very typical, like Pennsylvania, what we call like the deer camp family. Fortunate enough, my dad had a few acres for us to run around and bow hunt on. Not saying I grew up on some 200-acre, farm where we had food plots and stuff. It wasn't anything like that. It was just, we got a field edge out there. We got a ladder stand. Go sit there and just put the time in or whatever. But just getting those reps and stuff at a young age, and then just the fact of like my brother and I, when we would, I don't know, I remember coming home from like baseball practice and stuff, and we would just say like, "You want to go shoot birds off the side porch?" Like that was our thing.
Yeah.
Like we would just shoot birds that came over. I think all those little things help you with kind of like the reds, not like the red zone and the kill and like target acquisition, all those things at a young age. Do you think that helps a lot?
I used to run around with a green fanny pack, and my dad would buy those giant copperhead like milk cartons full of BBs, and I would just fill that thing, and I would shoot. It's disgusting to think how many birds I've killed in my life. I mean, I've killed thousands and thousands of every common kind of bird, as a kid. Like, I just wreaked havoc on it. But you're right. Like, that's what built all those skills is all that, small game as a kid. Like, yeah, it's like, it's kind of, my buddy Rick and I kind of joke about it a little bit, like, because there's a lot of people that get into hunting, after high school and stuff like that. And it's like, we were so far ahead of anybody else, like just from being a kid. And that's what we love to do, and it was like having that ancestral drive as a kid, you know what I mean? Rather than like, you don't play baseball anymore. You don't play football anymore. And it's like, what am I going to do with my life? I don't go, I'm going to be a hunter. Like that's a lot of people, right? Like it's kind of just like a personal thing, you know what I mean? Just to keep you busy, right? Like hunting's a cool thing, but I was blessed to just have that drive at a young age, and lucky enough that my dad gave me a BB gun and a carton full of BBs and let me go ham, So.
Yeah. And I talked to like some guys kind of like closer to my age or whatever, and they're new, and like I started talking about like maybe what I do, and like they want to get into it, or they said like, they went hunting a couple times when they were little, and I'm like, yeah, sure. But I think I do take for granted just kind of growing up with it and all these little things we're talking about.
Yeah.
Because just trying to put myself in their shoes of like just trying to start out now, and then they think that they are going to go out there and like arrow a 6-point bull like this year or something when like they really haven't picked up a bow at all.
Yeah.
It's like, that's great. Like I love for people to like dream big and like all these things, but I really think you just want to go, you're better off going through
baby steps,
a progression, learn all these things. And I just found that like I almost take for granted just those like steps growing up because, there's a lot that we just naturally kind of picked up on, I think, growing up that helps us so much more now. Like I wanted to mention too, you said you did trap a little bit at a young age. And I was telling you, so I was always there, not always there. I'm not taking any credit, but helping my brother skin raccoons and skin foxes and stuff. Like we go to our deer camp and we trap up there and stuff. But my brother was obsessed with trapping, and he is an absolute killer. back east, I mean, wherever he goes, he's killing. Like I said, or I was telling you earlier, like he'll just, like we'll tag out in Pennsylvania. Then he's like, yeah, I'm just going to go look at this new piece in Ohio like this weekend and go out there, set up his saddle and just like arrow a real good buck. And like just by looking at the terrain and just being just so in tune. And I tell him, I think a lot of that comes from trapping.
Yeah, no, I agree. Just being in tune, being able to read sign and seeing how animals use the country, like it, yeah, learning about wildlife, all wildlife, it helps you like in the big picture. Like it's just like when I go hunt elk or mule deer or whitetail, they're little characteristics, just like on that hunt when I was in Nebraska. As soon as I watch that buck get aggressive towards that other buck, pin his ears back, stiff leg walk towards that other buck, I'm like, game over.
Yeah.
Couple grunts, here he came.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just being able to read that and when to use those, when to make your play, and that just comes from experience,
Because if you think about what you're doing with trapping too, you're essentially like, yeah, you're putting out a trap and scent and things like that, but you're essentially creating some sort of ambush point.
Yep.
And that's a big tactic for a lot of, mule deer hunting and elk hunting and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially like when I was young, like bobcat trapping. I mean, think about all the country out there, and you got to get a cat's foot to sit perfectly on a little pan like that.
Yeah.
Like, there's definitely an art.
My brother's done it, and like that was a huge deal for him.
Yeah.
And I assume that's why.
Yep.
Yeah. If you think about it.
Yep.
Yeah. Very cool. Yeah. Wanted to get into too, like just maybe your bow setup and some things you've learned just kind of like as an archer too, because that's what I found over the last few years too. Like I grew up bow hunting and everything, but I really didn't take the time to like really learn how to tune and just understand my setup and just become a little bit more of an archer until I got a little older. Honestly, I'll never forget the day because I hit a buck in the shoulder and never found it, and then was just always played victim, like, or whatever. But I said, no, like I'm looking at this bow and like my setup, and I was like, this was many years ago. And I'm like, I want to learn like how these guys, like I see on YouTube, are tuning and their setups and everything. Like, I don't know. When I took that leap, I was such a more confident bow hunter.
Yeah.
So have you found that like just becoming a little bit more of an archer has helped you?
Yeah. I mean, being familiar with your bow is a huge part of it. Like building your confidence, and that is everything as a bow hunter, I think, I wouldn't say I'm super great at tuning and stuff like that. I'm pretty lucky to have, Archery Central right here. That they literally stop what they're doing when I go in there and help me tune and get things dialed perfect, So I'm pretty fortunate in that regard, I don't have a bow press or anything like that. Don't need to.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as like, the ins and outs of developing a good shooting system and a good arrow and stuff like that, like just trial and error over time, and me, I'm fortunate. I'm a big guy, so I shoot like an 80-pound. I've got like a RX9, Hoyt
Nice.
RX9. So it's a little more forgiving, fast shooting bow. I long draw. So
yeah, I'm jealous.
I mean, a lot of guys like I see a lot of guys these days like getting super super heavy arrows, and I'm kind of the opposite. It's like I run a middle of the run road heavy arrow. I'm like a 476 grain arrow.
Okay. Yeah, that's for you. That's light. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I could shoot way heavier.
Yeah, you could.
But I like the forgiveness of it. Like I like to be able to, in a quick situation, not be able to range something. I could be off by 8 yards and I'm still going to smoke the buck.
You're shooting so flat.
So, and that's what I mean in a forgiving setup. And that's what I've always believed in. And shooting 80 pounds, like I always get pass throughs. So
yeah,
even with expandables, like I was always a fixed blade guy. And, I still kind of am. I wouldn't say that I'm super sold on expandables. Just because there are times that I feel like I should have gotten a pass through and I didn't. With the expandable, you're losing some energy there. But the good thing is you put it where it's supposed to be and it doesn't matter. And that, like, the last probably 4 seasons, like, I mean, it's been one arrow, perfect shot, dies in sight. One arrow, perfect shot, dies in sight.
Good.
All across the board. And it's like I don't want to, as I've kind of like progressed as a bow hunter, I don't want to just put an arrow in something.
Mm-hmm.
I want to put a perfect arrow in him. I don't want to watch him die in sight. And that is so rewarding to me.
Will you ever change your setup given what you're going after, or just keep it consistent for the whole fall?
I haven't had any issues. I haven't lost any critters or any elk, but I do like getting complete pass-throughs and, with the expandable, like I said, I'm losing a little bit of energy, and I don't necessarily like it, but I've hit everything perfect, so it didn't matter.
Right.
But I still like a pass-through, so, this year I might do a little more experimenting, and I might actually do like, if I'm deer hunting, or maybe even carry multiple broadheads in my quiver, So
yeah, cool.
If a little farther shot, maybe a little wind, I might use an expandable, something in the mid-range, inside 40 yards, I might be using a fixed blade. So
I just picked up some severs because I've always shot a fixed blade last year. But the last couple animals I did arrow, I just kept, because that's what I did. I had what would have been 3 iron wills in my quiver and then 2 of these severs. Yeah. And I always said, like, further shot or opportunity presents itself, like, I want to give it a try. But I keep grabbing the fixed blades. Yeah. Like, when the moment comes, just because, like, I'm getting these pass-throughs and I'm not having any issues. Yeah. And it's like, when it's in the moment, it's like, well, I don't want to do anything different.
Yeah. Well, I've been using the Sever titanium, the hybrids 1.5s.
Okay.
And they've been great. But, like I said, I shoot 80 pounds and I'm a pretty big guy.
I know.
Like,
you can get away with, you can shoot whatever. You're good.
I know. I'm like I hear these guys talk about, like, I don't know that if like I had a short draw or shot a lower poundage, I don't know that I'd shoot an expandable,
I know.
Like, I can get away with it, but if I didn't put a perfect shot on them, maybe I wouldn't, like, I don't know. I'm kind of weird. Like, I really like pass-throughs. Like, there's something about just a pass-through, being able to read your arrow that I like. Yeah. So
I don't blame you.
Kill them regardless, whether it sticks in them and they bleed out, yeah, so I might be going back to a fixed blade. So
okay, nice. Before we wrap up, goat knives. So I've seen your page and I've seen your stuff. I've seen guys run them. I've never put my hands on them or whatever. But I think I was messaging you. Like, I've been using just like a Havalon knife over the years, no issues. But I always would put a fixed blade knife in my pack too. Yeah. Just because, like, I'm always worried about, like, it wasn't a Havalon, it was an Outdoor Edge. I'm always worried about if this breaks, like, then you're really screwed. Like, so I had just a backup fixed blade. I guess I'm just name dropping brands, but whatever. A Gerber, and I was popping my bottom jaw off my deer this year, and I snapped that blade. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm in the market. I am in the market for looking for knives. So yeah, talk about goat knives.
Yeah. So when I first started goat knives, it was basically, I had an idea. It was my flagship knife, which is the Capra Hunter, and it was basically brought on almost by necessity. It was something I kept thinking about. Like, I really like replaceable blade knives, you know? Yeah. And I'm always trying to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. And I came up with, basically, I've got a titanium handle, a 1/4-inch bit hole, so I can take just the Allen keys I need for my bow setup and be able to fix my quiver, resight my bow in, whatever it is. Like, I'm a backpack hunter. Who wants to carry a set of Allen wrenches? You know what I mean? That's right. That's one extra thing, rather than I can take, 4 Allen keys in my titanium knife. With that handle, I'm going to be skinning a buck anyway. Why not? For sure. Why not be able to tighten my limb bolt?
Yep. Double up, triple up with everything.
So that's kind of where goat knives came to fruition. Was I just kept thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it. And I'm like, I have to do this. I have to bring this to market and do it. Mm-hmm. And then once I did it, it's I just decided that I was going to build knives, ultralight hunting knives for hardcore hunters, essentially. Nice. They're not the knife. you know, they're built for hunters. That's
They have their purpose.
Yeah, they're a little more expensive, you know. I mean, if you're looking for a bargain, you know, you could probably buy a replacement blade on Amazon that's going to work just as well, but are they titanium and they can fix your bow too? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
yeah,
that's kind of where that came to the forefront, you know. But it's kind of a side hustle of mine, and it's I love it. I love seeing people send me pictures of, you know, skinning out a grizzly bear or doll sheep or elephants, like all these cool stuff that, you know, I'll probably never get to do, but I get to live, you know, getting just a picture from somebody like that is just so rewarding to me.
Yeah, you kind of almost probably get that feeling, I'm sure, like, you know, like you're almost part of it.
I do.
Know?
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's replaceable blades?
Yeah, I've got fixed blades too. I've got a whole fixed blade lineup. I've got like some super ultralight, you know, knives that are fixed blades, and then I've got 2 replaceable blade knives, and I've got like a higher end knife that's more robust, that's like, you know, just tough as nails, and I've basically got the whole spectrum, you know. So
yeah, and just I'm laughing too because I'm thinking about, I went elk hunting with this guy, younger guy, just not quite as experienced. Like for people listening, if you haven't done like the whole Western hunting gutless method or whatever, you don't need your whole knife kit that like you normally might have when you're going to drag your whitetail out of the woods back east. Like that's what we would do. And then like, yeah, you could have whatever you wanted, like a big whole knife fillet kit.
Yep.
Well, like the dude I was elk hunting with, like he had that like in his pack, like all these knives and like a big, like a plastic, like hard case. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? And I pulled out like my little like knife out of my pocket. I'm like, I was like, I did a whole elk with this last year.
Yeah.
Like, this is all you need. And he was like, no way. And I'm like, yes, man. So I like the idea. Like, you don't need like ultralight, holds an edge.
Yep.
That's all you need.
Oh yeah, like see, I have the luxury I can have a couple different knives in my pack at all times. You know, I do it just so I can get pictures with the different knives that I have.
Yeah.
But if I had to choose one knife, I would just do our Ibex.
Okay.
You know, it's a multi-tool. You can do the thing, you know, tighten your bow sight or whatever. But it's less than an ounce. It's titanium. We have one that's an orange, so you're not going to lose it. And then you could bring 10 blades, and you can get Avalon blades. You can get whatever blades. It's any surgical blade, medical, it's an open patent. So you can basically just order some blades off Amazon that fit that head, and it'll work. So you can find whatever blade works for you, and it's all about that handle, you know. So
sweet.
You know, like if I'm going on an elk hunt, I'll probably bring 6 blades, just because as soon as they get dull, I mean, they're cheap. I just, you know, get a new one.
Yeah.
You know, a deer, usually 2. So, and that you can do everything with that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I'm always like, every time I'm doing an animal, I always seem to like push it further with like a blade before I change it out. Then every time I go to change it out, I'm like, oh, I should have did this like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, that's nice, dude. When did you start goat knives?
I think it would have been 2020.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
Yep.
So been around.
Yep. Been around a little bit. I had a different business partner for a little bit. Yeah. Got a new one, and now we, you know, a lot of that was, you know, we lived in 2 different states, and now it's all here. So
nice.
It's just makes everything more streamlined. Customer service is great now. All the things, you know. So
okay, so everything's right here in Idaho.
Yep.
Awesome.
So
awesome. Awesome, dude. So where? Before I even get there, so we talked about this year and just like some of all these hunts. I mean, we didn't even get into like the moose and like all this other crazy stuff. You got any other cool hunts looking forward to next year? I mean, I know you're still hunting now, but anything cool coming down the pipe?
Yeah, well, I picked up just a over-the-counter Arizona tag, so I haven't decided if I've been hunting coos deer down there. I'm not sure if I'll do that or chase mule deer down there. But in January,
when is that? Yeah,
January.
Yeah,
so.
I always forget about that. Then I'm like doing nothing in January, wishing I was hunting, and then I see people like on Instagram. I'm like, oh, people are still hunting down in Arizona.
That's what I mean, chasing the seasons. It's like that's what I love. I love, you know, obviously you can't get away with all of them, but it's nice to be able to pick up some tags. And like I was a little slow, you know, where I had my guys working and they were able to take care of some stuff, and I'm like, I'm gonna head to Utah for a couple days, you know, why not? Like, So,
Awesome.
yeah,
Yeah. So is that a fun hunt, Arizona deer?
man, it's some of the funnest hunting I've had. So going down there, just completely different country
Yeah.
than what I'm used to, different challenges. You know, you don't even know what all the plants are and stuff. Everything pokes you down there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
it's
like a
just,
whole new planet.
yeah, I just love that adventure bow hunting, you know, just, and the more that, I get to experience some of this stuff, like I went to New Zealand in April this last year. Like I killed a fallow buck,
Okay.
one of the coolest animals to hunt ever. Like they're literally like I don't even they croak in the rut. It's like hunting whitetail on the ground, like in a river bottom, and
Yeah.
they're like it's almost like chasing elk because they're croaking all the time, and you know where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like the craziest thing, and they're super smart and super keen, and was able to put an arrow in this buck, and I don't know, just one of my
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
you never. I had no desire to hunt a fallow buck
Yeah.
until I did. I'm like, I want to do this every year. This
Yeah.
was incredible. That was the coolest species to hunt ever.
Yeah.
So
You mentioned the word adventure. Is that you think about like all your bow hunting and all these things and stuff? Is that what you really love? Like the adventures that it brings you?
I do like. I like to. I would say I like to travel. Like,
Yeah.
but how cool is it to be able to experience all these things like out of your backpack and be able to go to Alaska and freaking chase moose out of a caribou raft and deal with grizzly bears and all the challenges you got to face, and then go to Arizona and you're dealing with immigrants,
Yeah.
and cactus and you know what I mean, seeing all these cool things. Like I just love those experiences, and like yeah, I would just wish I could do it all, so
Yeah. That's really cool.
But
the more people like I've connected, like I'm big into like trail running and like all these other things and getting around like those kind of people. Not all of them maybe like hunt, but they're very like type A outdoorsy and stuff. And then like connect with them. Even been connecting with some here in Boise, and like they see my Instagram page and it's like all hunting and stuff. And like they'll ask me about that, and I'm like, okay, well, and I'm like, yeah, well, like so like you're into backpacking and hiking, right? And they're like, yeah, and I'm like, well, picture that, but like you're just living off your back. You're off the trail. Like you're in base. That gets me excited sometimes. I'm like in these basins where it's like, I wonder how many people have like been in here.
Yeah.
And then and your goal is to like find animals and get as close as you can, and you're doing all that like with a weapon on your back.
Yeah.
And you're getting like because a lot of these people too, like healthy, fit, like, and I'm like, and you're getting like grass-fed, organic, the most natural, pure meat ever, and it's just like the greatest experience. And usually when I'm talking to people like that here, they're like, "Oh, that does sound awesome." Yeah.
Well, hunting like like you're dirt biking, you're four-wheeling, you're driving your pickup up to get places, you're using freaking kayaks and rafts, and like there's so much that goes into it. You've got to have all these outdoor skills, being able to tie knots, survive, like what to do when you can't find water, like just the mental toughness of it. Like over the years, like my buddy Rick and I, like we're very similar, and we're both really successful hunters because we will do literally anything to find success. And we've been in some super fucked up situations just because we push it too hard and do literally whatever it takes.
Taking your truck up some ungodly place.
Yeah, and just the people that I hunt with, like we just do hard shit. Like the things that we do to be successful. Like, I mean, I've seriously almost died from not having enough water because I didn't want to leave a buck, and I hadn't had water since that morning. And, I end up arrowing a buck, and then it was like I had to find water, and then I lost my boots, and I had to walk out 2 miles to my dirt bike, my, blood everywhere because my feet were splintered open. And, you know what I mean? Like all kinds of crazy shit that you do, like to be successful, and it's just crazy. Like being able to push the limits and see what, hiking in the darkness with grizzly bears and all the things, like it's just awesome. Like it's living life.
Yeah, and you would never, you never do that otherwise for anything else. You know what I mean?
Then you put a perfect arrow through a buck, and then you come home and you get to eat on it all winter.
It was all so worth it.
Yeah, well, it's awesome. I love hunting.
Yeah, that's awesome. We'll wrap it up here, dude. I really appreciate the conversation. You're a killer. Love following you. Love your passion for it. People want to follow along like with you and like some of these hunt films too. where can people find those and like just follow along with everything you got going on? Goat knives, if people are interested.
Yeah, probably just my Instagram page, Travis Nowotny, and then goatknives.com. But I haven't decided. I've got a few hunts filmed. I haven't decided, if I'm gonna put them on Goat Knives or probably just a personal YouTube channel. I just haven't, I'm not very techie, and it's in my downtime. I'm with my family and with, so I got to make a little time and put it out there. But I've got an elk hunt and a moose hunt I want to put somewhere that are pretty cool. And
Awesome. Well, all right, guys, everybody, thanks for listening. Thanks again for hopping on, dude. Really enjoyed it. And any parting words?
Yeah, get out there.
Just get out there and do it.
Get out there, go bow hunting.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. We will catch you on the next one. Hey, if you liked that episode, please share it with a friend, share it on your story, and give the podcast a rating and a review on wherever you listen. For more of this type of content, you can head over to the YouTube channel and follow along on all the social platforms. Really appreciate it. See you on the mountain.